Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of the Gone Bush podcast. As usual, I'm Rocky and this is Froggy.
Yeah, I'm Froggy, yeah.
Just a quick bit of housekeeping, I think that's what they call it. From this week onwards, we're going to stop uploading to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. And there's another one there, I can't remember what it is. They're just not returning, having enough return for us to keep doing it. It's getting nowhere near as the sort of views that YouTube gets, and now we have to pay for it every month. So for now, we're just going to cease uploading on there. If things pick back up in the future, then we will start uploading back up on there.
Yeah, we thought about charging our viewers $1 to watch our stuff and to help pay for it, but then after discussing it, we thought it was probably not the best idea.
Well, you actually can do that, but not until you've got
so no, we're not doing that.
Quite a few thousand people subscribe and watching.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we won't be doing that anymore. Actually, I haven't even talked to Froggy about this yet, but
left me in the dark again. Go on.
Yeah, well, I had a bit of an idea for when we go and do our podcast up in the bush. Obviously, we're going to do a Gone Bush episode, which will be all about the animals, everything that's going on, nature-wise up there, wild-wise.
Yeah.
But for the podcast, I thought, what if we do some true crime about things in that area? There's a lot that's happened there. So, I don't know if you remember some of these, but I'll try and remind you. There was the case of the Button Man, who is someone who is known to live up there, camp for long periods of time, suspected of being possibly involved in some murders, disappearances up there. There has been a lot of disappearances. He is suspected in a lot of them. Then there was the murders of the elderly couple up there a couple of years ago, which he actually helped them find the tracks and everything up there for it. It turned out not to be related to him. It was someone else altogether. Then there was also, I don't remember his name, but he was the, what are they called, the head of our prisons? Is it the governor?
No, yeah?
Yeah, the governor of Barwon also went missing up there, which was about, I can say this one because I don't care about this one. You know when we're at Snakes Reserve, if we look up the mountain, if you look up about 5 k's, that's where he's suspected of disappearing.
Yeah, right.
So very close.
Speaking of Snakes Reserve, we're not going there again.
Well, hopefully bloody not.
No, I didn't see a single snake, so we're not going there again.
Well, I hope we can get our one, and even more so, I hope we can get our one. And I'm not going to reveal this story because it'll just ruin it, but you remember the story I told you about something directly that happened out there a number of years ago?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, so you can understand why if we get that side, it will play even a bit more.
No, I'll let you do all that side, and I'll do the nature wild stuff.
Well, that's going to be separate on the Gone Bush, on Gone Bush, the Gone Bush podcast.
Yeah.
I'll give you a lot of this information so you can look through it as well and contribute, but like Tony knows that, but Ron doesn't know that yet. So that'll be when he...
I've heard some stories about ghosts and things out there too. Well, again, I'll let you go on. Unless I see one or something, I'll let you have that. Well,
it is also an old mob dumping ground.
Yeah, right.
Or mafia dumping ground. Yeah. It was a place where bodies got dumped because no one was ever going to look there. I always say to anyone who goes up there, if you happen to find human remains up there, skull or anything like that, don't be too panicked. I mean, it is a horrible sight, but it probably didn't happen recently, and it's probably a long time ago. Probably still call the police, but you're not in any danger or anything like that. It's not a very unusual thing to find something. It doesn't happen all the time, but it wouldn't be unusual for you to find human remains out there.
Yeah, I mean, let's say you're at Dead Man's Camp, for example.
What the hell is that?
Oh, no, just made it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. And you found, you might be more likely to, but yeah.
But yeah, I figured, well, we're going to be covering the wild stuff, but why not also cover another side of the area we're going to that most people wouldn't really expect you to cover, which is the crime that's happened up in that general area. It's happened all around. I mean, it goes from where we were down to Aqua, which we travelled through to get up there. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of resorts we pass, Hukwa Inlet and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a few caravan parks we pass. It's all Hukwa there.
Yeah.
That's where the older couple went missing.
Right. That sounds New Zealandish. We call it Kiwi. Hukwa?
Oh, well, it probably is a Kiwi word, to be
Does
honest.
sound like Kiwi.
Because we have got some Kiwi, or Maori.
Yeah, sounds Maori, that's right. Yeah.
Maori, New Zealand, Islander, because there's a whole bunch of different islanders that aren't Maori. But like, and I'm not trying to say this in a racist way, but it's sometimes hard to tell between Kiwi, Islander, Maori, and Aboriginal. Like, for example, what's the town that borders Albury? Begins with W.
Wollongong.
You know Wodonga?
Wodonga, yeah.
That's in itself is an odd word.
Yeah.
Wonthaggi, that's an odd word.
Yeah, and Umemerring.
Umemerring, another one. Now, Uluru is obviously an Aboriginal word.
Yeah. Oh, I can detect Aboriginal words pretty good.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is sometimes a Kiwi word can be confused.
Oh, sometimes, yes.
As Aboriginal.
Yes.
And that's probably just the whole Islander thing.
I think the word is Indigenous, mate. Yeah.
Well, are Maoris considered Indigenous?
Oh, they would be to New Zealand.
You know, one thing I've never heard a Maori being called an Aboriginal.
No, because they're not.
Well, yeah,
like Torres Strait Islanders sort of are, but they're not. To be specific, they're not.
A Native American is also considered an Aboriginal by technicality.
Yeah, that's right. But
because
again,
it means the native of the land.
Be specific, they're not. No.
No, but that's what I'm wondering. In that scale, are the Maoris that reside in New Zealand considered the Aboriginals of New Zealand?
I think so. Yes, I think that's right.
Because I know they also come from a lot of other islands.
Well, I appreciate that they were there before white man.
Oh, hell yeah.
I want to go back down this path, right?
Well, yeah.
So therefore, they are the indigenous people of New Zealand. So they're not...
I mean, I just don't know enough about New Zealand.
They're as much Aborigine as a Torres Strait Islander is Aborigine, put it that way.
You know, it is kind of
So
funny.
if you class them as fully Abo, then they are too.
But you know what's kind of funny about it? They are our next door neighbour, and our natives look very, very different. So our natives have got more of an African northern islands. So when I say northern islands above us, I mean they've got that sort of look. Whereas the Maoris and that have more of a Asian ethnicity look to them.
Yeah.
But they're our next door neighbours, and they're our natives. It's kind of funny how those two are right next door neighbours for centuries.
I think you might find it's more to do with the interbreeding of the two.
Well, that's when they were still apart.
Because from what I've worked out, or from what I understand, I think Torres Strait Islander people are more interbred with Aborigines than, for example, the New Zealanders are.
Yeah, well, see, I don't know
I don't think the New Zealanders are that interbred with Abos.
There was no humans on Earth when Pangaea existed, was there?
Who's Pangaea?
Pangaea is all the world's countries before the Earth.
Oh, split. Before the split?
Yeah.
Yes, there was. They were in Africa. Everyone was in Africa.
All right, so there were humans at that time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Only in Africa. Well, I mean, that was the only continent.
Well,
There was only one continent.
which is Pangaea.
So-
where they are now would be now known as Africa, but as a whole, it was
Yeah.
just Pangaea. There's
We all
nothing
come
else.
from Africa,
Yeah, it was the African region of Pangaea. Yeah.
And if that's the case, we're all related to everyone.
Well, technically, we are.
We've all come from one race.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that
is actually a fact.
Not something unbelievable. Aside of to the Christians and I think Catholics who.
Well, the only reason we went white is because we went to the other side of the earth as the split went round.
Well, a perfect example of that is the UK with the lack of the sun
That's
and
right.
all
And
the
the
cold.
way it's positioned on the equator, blah blah blah.
Everything,
With regards to your pigments in your skin.
Whereas you got these, it's not all based on heat, but in Africa they got much darker skin because it's a much warmer climate. One of many factors, obviously.
Yeah.
But you go to England, there's fuck all sun. It's always cold, and they're pale as hell.
Yeah, and that raises an interesting point actually. Just changing the topic a little bit, but I've always been intrigued by this. I'm going back to my dark colours are hot in the sun. and light colours are cold,
Yeah.
right? Wouldn't you think if you're in Africa, stinking hot, that your skin colour might be white to reduce heat on yourself? And if you're in a cold country, like animals, your skin would be darker to absorb the heat. And in humans, it's exactly the opposite.
Well, I've always looked
Which
at that
lead me to
as-
believe that the black people have been burnt.
Well,
No.
I always looked at it as like they're darker, so they're already sort of built to be able to take the heat that is within their environment.
Yes.
Whereas, you send a British person to Africa without sunscreen, they're going to go fucking red in a few minutes.
It's like UV tolerant skin.
Yeah.
It has to be black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, in that sense, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But when you look at it in the colour scheme, it doesn't. In the
Because as we all know, if a white person goes into the sun like that, it'll be red. It will fry like a lobster.
and now I know black
Which doesn't
people-
make sense because you've got white skin.
Well,
I
no,
shouldn't
when-
have cooked like that.
I won't say black people, but I know darker coloured skin, because it's not just African people, it's all dark coloured skin people. A lot of them, they can get sunburned, but you can't tell when they're sunburned,
Yeah.
which is a pretty cool thing for them, I think, because like if we get sunburned in the face, everyone knows and everyone can see it.
Yeah.
They can sort of hide it. That's not being racist, that's, if anything, that's a compliment.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And when we were kids, speaking of black skin, when we were kids, in our family, we all tried to. It was a race to see who could get the most suntan and be the darkest. We all wanted to be black. We wanted to be like. We like this tanned skin business, right? As dangerous as this skin cancer stuff, which we didn't know. No one told us anything about that. I remember we all used to sunbake, and we'd do like they do 20 minutes and half an hour at a time in the sun on their towels in the backyard. My sisters used to do it, and go inside. That's enough for a while, and you have to have an hour or two or something before you go out again and do more. I think it's called skin training. If you stayed in out the skin too long, you'd peel and be cooking it, right? But if you did an hour or half an hour a day, you'd get a real nice tan. Every time you did it, you get darker and darker. Hence how in hot countries your skin goes dark, right? And by the end of summer, they'd have this beautiful tan skin without peeling. That was the trick. So that they could be brown, right? They'd be dark tanned like a black fella,
Yeah,
which
we
is really, really dumb, right?
didn't do a lot of tanning as kids.
In
Run
those
around like idiots.
There was no spray on tan in those days. And this is how all the girls and the lads were doing this to get a tan. So you weren't, this bright white was no good. You weren't tough if you were white.
I never went for tan, but I remember one thing I did do in year 7 was, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there's this spray you can get that slowly dyes your hair.
Yeah.
And I in primary school, I'd gone like blonde, and I thought it looked pretty cool, because this was in the days where there was this cartoon called Dragon Ball Z, and when they powered up, their hair went bleached blonde.
Oh yeah.
So it was a cool thing to have that sort of blonde back then as a kid.
Yeah, I was blonde when I was a kid.
But in high school, I didn't want to make the change from one day to another, going from the last day they saw me, I had this hair, and then the next, I had blonde hair. So I used this spray that slowly dyes your hair. And it was around summer when I was doing it, so it was towards the end of the year. And all the kids in class have been going, we know you're dyeing your hair. And the girls, of course, knew exactly what I was using, because, of course, they're girls, they know about the hair dye products and all that sort of crap. And I used to just try and tell them, oh no, it's the sun, it's just the sun. There was no way in hell anybody believed that, but that was the story I was holding. I was sticking to it. It was the sun, but in reality, I was actually spraying stuff in every day.
Sun
before I went to school, yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. And then I heard the last time I did anything to my hair like that was when someone tipped my hair for my brother's wedding, which is blonde, like just blonde streaks sort of thing, spiked up. And that was for my brother's wedding. Other than that, I haven't had anything like that done to my hair, and I probably will never again since.
No,
never again.
I had some bits do my hair blonde, do the blonde stuff, redo it, make it really nice, like more blonde, and fucked it, come out orange, had orange hair.
I can't even say I've been to a hairdresser or anything.
I think I wore it for about 2 days and then I shaved it off. I couldn't have it, I couldn't handle it.
Last time I would have went to a hairdresser would have been 2008, 2009. I've either had mum do my hair since, or my friend, or myself.
Oh yeah.
The last few times I've done it myself.
Well, the last time I went was just before COVID, I think.
Went to a hairdresser?
Yeah. When my dad was alive. Yeah, it would have
You
been
always
just.
did it yourself.
No, because just before Dad died, I remember it was either then or just after that. I decided to do my own. Oh no, that's right. When the Sasson crew cut came out on the market, do you know that the round you can do your own crew cut? Yeah, it's a round cutting blade.
Oh, I just use it at the show, so I don't really look at
No,
it.
well, this one's very good. You don't need to see or anything. Just do it.
Yeah,
It's
right.
got edges every circle on it, so you can go any way you like.
You just like full shave your head, don't
Yeah,
you?
full shave. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it would work. And there hadn't been one on the market before then, like that. I would have had to use what you use, the old snipper one.
Yeah, I used the wireless.
Yeah, clippers.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with those is it's hard to get every bit. It takes a long time to get a sort of elbow.
It can, but I find if you don't use attachments and you rest it right on your scalp, it goes pretty well.
Yeah, I know, but there's a lot of work with it.
It is. I mean, yeah, but I've only got to do back and side.
Yeah, no, with the whole head.
Wait.
I'm not with the whole head, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. So with this round one, when you go that way, it cuts, and you come back on the back stroke, it cuts. Your side strokes cut. You just go around in circles, it cuts. You don't have to have any pattern, you know. So you can go quite fast with it. And you just do a couple of those. You shake it off. You do more. You shake it off. Like I'm done in about 2 minutes. Right, done. And there wasn't any on the market till that came out. And that came out, I think it was 2019 or something.
That's only a couple of years ago.
Yeah, 2018 or something came out.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, and because I remember because it was on the market for maybe 6 months or so. It was on TV a few times, and I said, "Oh fuck this! I'm going to go get one of these." It wasn't that expensive, you know, $120 or something. And I never looked back. I've still got it today. And since then, I also bought the small trimmer, and there's a round nose and ear trimmer thing and everything. I got those as well, so you could do the bits and pieces, you know. And I use that, and see, if you don't believe me, look at that, see. I've just done that this week, see, just for the viewers at home. It works pretty damn good. Right, put your sunglasses back. Take them off now. It's okay.
What? Where did the sunglasses come from?
Well, it's pretty shiny. Whoa! Whoa! Anyway, yeah, some people would say that they could land a helicopter on that. I couldn't, because it's my head. You know, once it goes about there, I can't see it anymore.
Well, if you've got a camera on
I need a mirror, see. Even if mirror's not going to be every controls me backwards.
But what if you use the drone with a camera on it?
Yeah, well,
Lock it up, like a bird's eye view camera?
with a big screen,
Yeah,
and
well,
I could
even in
land
front
it
of
by
it,
screen.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
in front of
should be able to get on top of your head. Yeah. I know another guy who's got a better one, his head's actually flat.
it. You know, we might have to try that at camp and film that.
G'day, Lasho.
Like, if you can like take my drone,
Yeah.
fly it and land it on your own head, I gotta get that on film.
Okay,
Simple as that.
you have launched a challenge.
Well, I mean, we're doing a few things with the drones last time. Like, you know, what were we doing? Fucking trying to, do flybys by mine and Anthony's head as low as we could.
Oh, yeah.
And then we were doing a flying through battles. Wait, did we do that with the drones or the boat?
Oh, I can't
Have
remember.
the circle.
Oh, the boat, that was the boat.
That was the boat.
Yeah, archers
Yeah, that's
on
right.
the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't think I'm not going to give myself too much credit. I don't think I can do it. I have enough trouble landing a small helicopter on someone else's head, let alone my own.
Yeah, but this is like a full, like,
Yeah.
leg
But
thing.
okay, for the viewers, we'll do it. Yeah. No
Or
problem.
even-
Doesn't matter if we stack it.
Oh, wait, no, the Osprey hasn't got a camera, has it?
No, and the Osprey is probably the worst helicopter I've got as far as control is concerned. Not because of me, because it's in mode 2, and I'm sacrificing my brain is in twist mode when I fly that one. So I don't know. That would be hard to fly and land that on my head. I don't think so. I'd rather fly my other 3-channel one. Actually,
What he's referring to mode 1 and 2 there is in remote controllers. The settings are either mode 1, which is
right-hand drive, accelerator,
and mode 2 is left-hand drive.
Yeah. It's a bit like American and Australian.
So I go up on my left stick mode.
Mm-hmm.
My throttle was up and down.
Yes,
on my
left-hand American.
Yeah, so it's mode 2.
Mode 2.
Yeah. Well, that's what all drones come with.
They do. Yeah. And that's why I still bought this Osprey drone.
I don't think I could fly the other way.
Oh, right.
I think because now I've only flown
In mode
this
2.
way.
Yeah.
Now it's like programmed.
It's possible that would be the case.
Yeah. It's kind of like driving.
Yeah, it makes it difficult for me to be your teacher because I'm in mode 1.
I fly drones.
Yeah, which is why I generally refuse to teach somebody in mode 2. Nothing personal, it's about the step. Otherwise I would teach you, you're a nice fellow. But yeah, I've had this a lot.
Yeah, I just had a thought the other day. If we took like a frozen pinky or two mouse, and like say we hung it off a branch of a tree, do you reckon a cookie would come in for it?
A what?
A kookaburra.
Oh,
I know it's not alive and they like to hunt, but they will also take like sausages or meat that you give them. So
no, you'd be better off putting it on your fishing line and running it across the ground.
to make it look like it's moving.
Yep, it's running across the ground. It won't see the fishing line.
I want to get it on a branch and film it.
On a branch?
Yeah, well, I don't know, hanging somewhere where we can film it, going up to and grabbing it.
Oh. Well, I don't know if it'll take a dead target. That's my problem.
Yeah, but if the only thing that
It would if it can see it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would usually say yes, but then they take food from humans, so.
Well, it's not. Yeah, okay, yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, to me,
if it wasn't a human populated area, yeah. But
I think you'd be better off putting a fucking sausage up there than something that it's familiar with.
Yeah, I just thought,
or a bit of bread or something.
Give them a nice fucking treat of a pinky.
A pinky, I would say no because it doesn't know what it is. It's probably never seen one before, or it's not used to eating a dead one. Like it's.
Yeah, that would be interesting to find out.
How I reckon just do it and see.
Yeah. And the other reason I want to put it.
I think a sausage would work better personally if it's at a campsite.
Well, that too, but the reason I wanted to do it suspended was so a snake doesn't go for it, so it's only accessible for a bird.
Oh, yeah.
Or any insects or spiders don't go for it.
I don't think a snake will go for it anyway.
Yeah, do I, but I'm also thinking spiders. Or ants.
Yeah, oh, I see what you mean, yeah, on the ground, yeah.
Yeah, whereas if it's hanging, it's, selected on what animals can take it.
No, let's just do, we're dribbling shit because we don't know.
Yeah, we really
We've got to just do it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I would say.
Yeah. That's if we're
Can't do any hurt.
That's, if we leave it at night, good chances are fucking possum will steal it. Even if it doesn't want to eat it, they're hustle.
Well, I could say something about that. Chances are may not too.
Well, they're not meat eaters, are they?
No, because the last few times we've been out there, I put bread and stuff out everywhere I've been going camping and there's nothing.
Yeah, you know what's weird though? When we've been at...
Not a wombat, not even a possum. I don't think there was even any rats out there. I didn't even see a mouse.
I can't remember the site with that last time, but when we were at Snakes, a couple of times we've been there at night time, and we hear the bloody possums. Because they're talking and...
No, I can hear them, there's nothing on the ground, they're coming down.
That sort of makes sense because...
In the old days when I used to go camp with my brother Gary, we had a problem with wildlife coming up to our tent and stealing our food out of the eskies and all sorts of things. I'm telling you. You had to seal your tent right up and make sure you didn't leave stuff out around the campsite. Because if you did, you wouldn't get any sleep because of all the clutter and the noise they're going through stuff. I'm telling you. That's what it was like in Nuji.
Once we had the problem that we've been feeding bred the birds.
Not a
throughout the
problem.
day.
It was fantastic.
Well, these birds kept coming in too close, and then at night we had left the bread out, not open but out, and it would just mould it through the night. It was everywhere when we got up in the morning. There was just
Oh,
shit
that
all
would
over
have
the
been possible.
table. No, it was the birds.
Oh, birds in
It
the
was
morning.
parrots.
In the morning.
Mm.
Yeah. See, in our day, there wouldn't have been nothing left for the birds by morning. The possums and the wombats would have got it.
There's that many parrots out there though. It doesn't take long for that shit to disappear.
Mm. So, we and I used to leave stuff out for them, and my brother used to go cook with me. Don't encourage them. Fuck, what are you doing?
No, you can. You just don't do it.
And I go,
too
well,
close to
fuck,
the
I want
side.
to see some stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll be here. Don't worry, I'll be here. You go.
You do it a good 20 metres away from your, well, not even necessarily that far, but you do it a fair way of distance away from your campsite, so they go to a different area, but don't keep bothering you. That's how we've been doing it last few times, you know, and it works.
Yeah, no, we had to make sure everything was in the car, or, you know, don't leave things in the tent even. Any food stuff, put in the car.
Yeah, well, even,
So they can't smell it, you know.
Even, you know, now
They smell in the tent, they're ripping holes in the tent, not ripping holes, but they're trying to dig in the tent.
when we go to bed now, we seal that gazebo up,
Yes,
so no
yeah.
one can get in.
Yes.
Well, nothing can get in, there's no one out there.
Yes. Now, remember, I used to close my tent and say, like, make sure you close it, because you don't know if somebody's coming.
It's even the same. Like,
Probably nothing, but you still got to close it in case.
Yeah, well, even during the day, I limit how often my car doors are open because there are snakes, there are spiders, all kinds of things are going to go in your car, including fucking birds.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, we had birds going in the car.
yeah,
You
especially
did?
when they sit on the door and then shit on it.
Yeah, the little ones.
Oh, the parrots.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, that's the parrots.
big parrot
They get all over
turd.
your car and
I
they
had the
get
little-
on your roof.
I had those little robin things come in my car, remember?
Oh, yeah, those sort of things. They're brazy
Yeah.
things.
But
Those.
they're still having a little shit though somewhere.
Yeah, well, because they're like, they know they're cute, so they think no one's going to harm them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. They've been used to people putting up with them like, oh, come on the table, have something to eat.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right. Yeah. Encouragement award.
So, all right, now, so we're done with the chitter chatter, and now Froggy's got some things that he wants to talk about.
Yeah, just a bit of a
That's
catch up on actually, really. I mean, a few things been going on. So this sort of topic for today is world carbon losing the battle.
Yeah, it's funny because you mentioned that before.
Mm.
I had something interesting on that the other day, and it was actually, I might have said this last podcast actually, but something I learned off the Osborne podcast from Jack Osborne, you know, Ozzy Osborne's his son.
Mm.
And he was actually saying that there is now more trees on Earth than there ever has been in the entire lifetime of Earth. Which is, but there's probably still, no, I wouldn't say there's more humans than trees, but we're outdoing, when it comes to carbon, we're outdoing it. But yeah, there is actually, in fact, more trees on Earth now than ever before in Earth's life.
Well, there won't be for as long as the rate they're cutting the Amazon down.
Well, that's just the Amazon, but you got to remember we're doing plantations like crazy now.
We're trying hard.
All around the world.
Yeah.
So, you know, those things sort of contribute. I don't know why, it just made me think of, I've been watching the show Narcos Mexico. To make a long story short, it's when the weed started coming out of there. They go out into the middle of the fucking desert, no water, nothing around. But a geologist has figured out that below that ground is a whole, you know what it's called, but it's the source of water deep underneath the ground. So they know if they dig it, they can get a well and they can irrigate it.
Right.
At the end,
Underground streams.
yeah, well, no, they bring it up
Yeah.
and then irrigate it.
There's still underground streams. You got to get into them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100 acres they had of desert turned into wheat crop. The largest plantation in the world history of marijuana. 100 acres of marijuana growing. And it was at the time a very unique weed because he was this guy, Rafa Quintero.
Fuck with who? What? Sorry.
Yeah, Rafa fucked with.
Oh right, yeah.
Well, actually, he wasn't.
Rafa
because
fuck
he
with turtle.
No, he was actually intelligent in many ways because he was the one that came up with the whole thing of don't breed the female plant with a male plant around. Then you won't get buds with seeds or flowers with seeds.
Yeah.
And it's called, I'm going to mispronounce this, but Semicelia, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Basically means seedless.
Right.
And he perfected really strong fucking strains. But that's where the seedless thing started, was by this guy, Rafa, in Mexico in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Seedless before wasn't around, and because the seedless, all the seeds were now gone, that also impacted their final weight.
Right.
So now they're able to get a lot more into a package instead of having all these seeds and stems that was, just too much and taking up room of stuff that can't be smoked.
Well, the other problem with seeds is that seed draws the nutrients out of the plant, out of the
Right,
heads.
that's why they were stronger,
Yes.
because there was no seeds.
If you look at the anatomy of the plant itself, it makes resin before it goes to seed, if you look at how it's supposed to be growing. And then when it goes to seed, all that resin turns into energy into the seed.
Yeah.
And if you pick it at the worst time, when the seed's ready, what's left is hardly worth smoking.
And
So yeah, that's where that came from too. Yeah.
It was pretty amazing because this
Shocker.
This
Yeah.
crop didn't get discovered for about 3-4 years. 100 acres under the Mexican government's eye, and they didn't know it was there. It's kind of funny because when the DEA finally and the Mexican government finally swoop in and burn it all, one of these head American guy goes, "How the hell did this happen without nobody noticing?"
Mm.
And one of the head DEA agents goes, "You know how it happened, sir," which means it was just the full Mexican government, to this day, is so corrupt.
Yeah. And when
They knew it was there. They were just getting.
Yeah. And when they burned all that, a whole half of the community got stoned on that side where the wind was blowing.
That's what the narrator says. He goes, "Some people in town were feeling funny that night, but
The whole half of the community on that one side.
but the American government considered it a win."
A win-win for both parties. Everyone was happy, and we got rid of the crime.
I remember even going online and seeing the pictures of this crop. It's just, it literally looks like, because it's just green, you can't see the details on the plants. It looks like a green paradise in the middle of a desert.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of beautiful. But anyway, speaking about that just reminded me. So yes, now we're
No wonder they got caught. Standing out like dodgeball.
oh yeah, but it still took them 3 or so years.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So
You got a few cops out before
and
it
all,
happened.
like, how can you do the US CIA was doing flyovers to check that shit? How do they not see 100-acre crop when they're doing a flyover?
No, it took them 2.5 years to survey the area first. You got to make sure they're all right. Make sure
You
it's
know how
right.
they found out about it?
Yeah.
One DEA agent was able to get a bloody helicopter pilot to take him over there, and he took the photos himself, got them back to the head people in the US, and at that point, when he had the photos, they could no longer ignore it. They had to go in and do something. But yeah, they done all these air sweeps and everything, didn't see nothing. One guy hires one DEA agent who they end up kidnapping and killing, gets a helicopter pilot and goes up and takes the photos himself with a camera. That's how far they had to go to make something happen. Anyway, so yes.
Sounds a bit corrupt, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, more trees than ever on Earth, but it's still not enough to outdo how much
No,
carbon
so
we're
we'll
putting
move
out.
down to the next part of that, and we have a look at the war that's going on in different places of the world. Now, first thing to mention about that before we start nitpicking into that is we go back to the pollution factor. So here we are, the rest of the world trying to reduce carbon and everything, and we've got all this bombs going off and there's pollution going everywhere.
See, now that's something funny to me, because if you go onto YouTube, there's some live feeds of cameras with inside the Gaza Strip and with inside Israel. Now, Israel's got something called the Iron Circle, the Iron Curtain.
Iron Dome.
That's the one.
Yes.
Which is, the idea is it surrounds Israel and it shoots out anything coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've watched these live feeds. The majority of shit that's coming into Israel gets shot down.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going, the footage we're seeing of the missiles that have hit is like 1 in thousands that they've actually sent.
Yes.
The majority of them, they're actually shoot. I never saw one land in that live footage.
Yeah.
They shot them all down.
It was about 1% actually.
Because you see, come like that, and it's in the sky, it goes.
Yeah.
So they shoot it down quick. But the way the news is making out how many are being fired and how much damage is happening, I'm not seeing that on the live feeds. I'm seeing a very empty town, yes, but there's not mass destruction. There's not mass panic. There are the sirens for when you see explosions going off in the 50 k's away at least. Nowhere near the main city of Gaza there. It's not. It doesn't seem to be actually happening as bad as what the news is making out.
No, but
It's like 1 in a few is only hitting.
yeah, and that's right. So their defences are pretty good.
I mean, I'll give Israel that they put out announcements to the Gaza Strip telling all of its residents evacuate now.
Yes.
That's the right thing
Well,
to do.
speaking of that time limit has actually just expired. We're about an hour behind now.
Yeah, they said you've got 24 hours to evacuate because we're gonna.
That was down to 13 hours, and 13 hours has passed.
Yeah, but the other thing
And
people
it
got
got
to
this
remember
morning
is
actually in our time.
this war at the moment.
I gave them till 9 o'clock.
Well, this war at the moment is literally just a missile war.
Yeah.
And yes, troops are ready, but no one's launched onto anyone's land or anything like that. It's just missiles.
The ground attack has started.
They haven't gone in with foot troops yet.
Yes, it started yesterday, I think.
I didn't say that because I've only ever seen the.
That's what they were saying this morning.
Oh.
The ground offensive has started, and the air offensive is continuing, and it's about to ramp up. That's why they asked all these people to go.
Yeah, but that's the other thing I wish they could make up their bloody mind on.
Well, what's
Is
going
it
to happen
Hamas?
now?
Is it Palestine?
No, well,
is it Iran?
no.
Hamas is the ruling government.
Hamas is who they're trying to get rid of.
Hamas is the ruling government of Palestine.
Yeah, they only want Hamas out of the Gaza Strip. They want
yeah.
Israel wants that Gaza Strip to
They-
themselves.
Yeah, well, that was because originally that's
Yeah.
but they also want Iran.
Well, that was the United States has something to do with that too, right? When they first set that
Big
up.
supporters.
Right, it's a ridiculous.
Well, I mean, if you looked at the parades of the military getting ready, to see everything they were using, all American.
Yeah.
Humvees, all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
It's all American stuff.
So, if Israel has their way, if they're successful, which I don't think they will be, because there's other factors I'm going to talk about, they want that whole Gaza Strip to themselves and make that Israel part of Israel, because the Palestinians have had their chance, is what they're saying. They've had their chance and they ruined it. They fucked this right up, right? Completely fucked it. So now you cannot have it.
No,
That's the objective here.
I don't think it was ever they had a chance. It was kind of
It was
like
pretty restricted anyway.
it was kind of like North Korea and South Korea. It
Yeah.
was they were in control, and there was a constant dispute that's been going for.
Yes. Yeah. It's
You know,
going for that
you know,
long.
war starts up every
Yeah.
now and then, so people launch missiles. But the thing is, usually it'll always settle back down pretty quickly. One or the other backs off, and just it stops, and we go back to normal living. Because Hamas is attacked. Well, sorry, not Hamas. Palestine. We've seen them attack Israel before.
Mhm.
Week or two, it's over.
Yeah,
Now, granted, this one's a little bit different,
Yeah.
but
No.
it's
The
I'm
Israelis
just seeing
had
a
a-
longer thing going to repeat. That's
The
all.
Israelis have had a gutful, basically. They've cracked the shits. Right? But our biggest, what the concern here is if we don't want the Saudi Arabians to get involved, which is what the next step is. All right? They'll be on the Palestine side. So that'll start a
No, I
massive
don't think
war.
they'd get involved
Well, that's what we don't know.
because
And
their
this-
oil is too invested in the US.
Well, this is watch this space, all right? Because that's Iran, it's Lebanon, that's all those countries over there. Will
Saudi Arabia will get involved, but I don't think they'll go either side. I think they will remain a pacifist state
Mm.
because if they were to go and back Iran, that's to the US. That's a direct enemy thing to do, or
Mm.
that
No,
would
but
then
the-
make the enemy. But Saudi Arabia can't afford to have America as an enemy because they need them for the oil money.
Yeah.
So, and God knows what else.
Yeah, and speaking of oil money, you'd think that the country would be a bit richer than they are. I was watching some
Of
of
who?
in the Gaza Strip.
Oh, Gaza.
Yeah.
No, it's not that big of an oil country.
Well, I'll give you an idea how backwards it is. I was watching some footage the other day, and they are still running horse and cart, as in donkeys and cart in the main street, motorbikes and those tuk-tuk things.
Yeah, but that's not on
Didn't
top.
see any modern cars. I didn't
Yeah, but
see.
you know what,
I didn't even see any solar panels.
Yeah, but that's common in a lot of Middle Eastern countries. But you can go to a place like Afghanistan and see that. But then the military have got Jeeps and shit, or Toyota Land Cruisers and stuff like that.
Mm.
The general public in these Middle Eastern countries don't seem to be very well off.
No. Yeah.
And you do see those modern cars, but it's only in the hands of the rich.
the higher. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And it's the same in Saudi Arabia. There's a lot of poor people. It's
Yeah.
only the royal family that's rich.
Yep. So something else that I'll point out on this topic is just something that I've noticed. These are all sort of third world countries that are at war. None of the first world countries are at war.
Well, these two are.
Well,
They're
Russia.
both- yeah,
No, except for Russia.
and that's considered first world.
Well, yeah, okay.
And I'm pointing to Israel.
But I think what I'm saying is that the countries they're picking on are all third world countries.
Yeah, but that's how it's always been.
That's just really bad, isn't it?
It's
I mean,
just
that's
about-
not-
You know,
It's just something I noticed, right?
it's what we do.
Yeah.
We go and destroy a place, and
Yeah,
then
I mean,
it's,
The United States is not picking on England. England's
Ah.
not picking on Russia. Russia's not picking on the United States, not really, because they know better.
yeah, but again, these ones aren't picking on one another because of the implications of doing so.
Yeah,
It can mean
France and places are not having
France
wars
ain't gonna
against
do
other,
shit.
you know, but no, but we're not, and I'll say we as one, you know, first world countries, we don't do war. We do it at the table, negotiation. What is this third world approach? This war is a third world approach at fixing problems. That's what I'm noticing here. That's what I see here. It's the problem. These guys have to be educated. They're not educated enough. Reminds me of Aborigines.
Well, I don't mean to sound.
If there's no vote and yes vote, reminds me a bit
Is
better.
anti-Semitic just towards Jews, or is that about all religion?
Yeah, well, I think that's something there.
Because I'm trying to say something about Muslims, but I'm not trying to be
Jews
against
is
them.
Palestinian, isn't it?
No.
No, Israel.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Israel. Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of the word anti-Semitic. I don't know if that means you're just racist against Jews or racist against any religion. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
Give us help in that in the comments. Does
I know that
anti-Semitic
the,
just in regards to Jewish people, or is that regard to any religion? I
Yeah.
can't remember.
Yeah.
But as peaceful as the Muslim religion can be, it is also, geez, I'm going to be getting in trouble for saying this, it is also a very strict, a very commanding religion, and it has some very backwards things, especially in regards to women. They're not allowed to be educated, that sort of stuff, which is a lot of shit. But they got some very backward things and the stuff they believe in Allah, and look, at a certain point you go, yes, in general, if you believe in the right Islam, it can be peaceful, but it is also, Islam is not just in the terrorism factor, but in the family thing, everywhere. It's been creating problems for about 50 years now. Again, I'm not trying to sound anti-Semitic or whatever, but that's a logic, looking at a point of history. Muslims have caused a lot of problems for themselves and in the world. And just, I know there's still a lot, but we're starting to see more and more of the ones who don't know the real Islam interpret. These morons who do the bombings and shit, they're called Salafist Islam or Muslims. They're fucking dickheads. They're crazy. They interpret the Quran, which is like their Bible, as however they want it. If it says you must protect yourself or something, they'll mean kill anyone to do so. They interpret it how they want to. It's really
To
quite
suit their
psychotic.
own needs.
Yeah, it's really quite a psychotic thing, Salafist Muslims. They're fucking wacky. Disgusting human beings at that, because any Salafist Muslim is basically a terrorist. They believe in that shit. fucking dickheads. Anyway.
Well, so what I'll do is I'll finish off with this a bit in saying, because we're moving back into the climate change bit here, right, which is what we really talking about here today as well, carbon and stuff. Two things coming. I'm going to talk about butterflies, just for a moment, my butterflies that I breed, if anybody knows me. I've been breeding these guys for about 15 years now in the same enclosure. And in the last 3 years, we have gone through 2 winters without stopping. And the point I'm making is we've never been able to do that before because it's always too cold in winter. And strangely enough, for the last 2 winters, there hasn't been. And I've normally shut things down and have a rest and regrow plants. I haven't been able to do that. We're running out of plants because we haven't stopped. Let's just say because of global warming. You could say that.
Could.
Yes, so that's just an interesting fact. I just thought I'd say that. If it's anything to go by, my butterflies are suggesting that global warming is here. And then we've got El Nino coming as well, so it's going to get hotter and hotter. So just something to, a bit of thought for talking there, talk to eat with, you know.
Yeah, yes.
A bit of thought for, you know. And in completely finishing off on the recent news, talking about meteorites and things as well, hitting the planet and stuff. NASA has recently released some information. You guys that might even watch the news would know this. They have actually succeeded in collecting a sample of a meteorite that flew past Earth some fair way away, but they got onto it. Don't know the details. They did take a sample. They landed a craft on there and took a sample. A little shovel come out and dug up a hole and they took some.
Well, haven't we taken samples of ones that have hit Earth?
We have before. This is a new one.
Yes, okay, well, I'm just wondering why we need that.
Well, apparently we need to take them off as many as we can because we're learning about stuff in the universe as to where Earth, how Earth is from, where it comes from, blah, blah, blah.
And how it's functioning.
Yeah, and this one is particularly interesting because they have found some very interesting materials on this one. And 2 of them, one being carbon and one being water. They've found water on it, which is very unusual for a meteorite, they say. So they're the building blocks for life.
It's kind of interesting when you look at it like that, in that it's not just Earth where these exact same things exist, such as water.
Yeah. Well, that sort of proves that. That's what that shows.
Well, even what was that show we were just watching before?
Yes, it was how.
Yeah, where they go into the core of that moon, or Pluto,
yeah,
and it's just
Pluto.
full of. It was Pluto, and it. Oh yeah, the asteroid hit Pluto, made a massive crater, allowed all the water to come to the surface, and then that froze. And that's now.
It causes a mountain thing.
Yeah, but it was water. It's kind of amazing that water is not unique to Earth.
No. Yes.
It's
and this meteorite they're studying at the moment, they've only
containing it.
This is what they found in the first sample, which apparently is the dust from the outside of it, and they haven't got into. There's a capsule inside that's got the drillings from a drill. They drilled a hole. And that went into a separate container inside. They haven't opened that yet. So we're going to find out about that soon. So anybody who's interested, just keep an eye on that on I Watch ABC, all right, with Nat, all right, who's very informative. Yeah, so I've just been watching that for a while. I thought it was quite interesting as well for our viewers to remember we've been talking about dust and stuff that comes to the Earth. How does the Earth get to its size and stuff coming out of these meteorites coming to Earth? A lot of them end up in Earth, and Earth could already be receiving some of these. That's how Earth's got its water, for example. Just for example. All right? Where does water? How did water come to Earth? Well, that's a great example. I mean.
Yeah, but then the question could be asked: how did that water get inside Pluto?
Well, that's what we don't know, and that's where science goes.
Because it sort of seems like water is.
Well, has that come
from
a
few planets?
Has that come from another big bang somewhere else? The
That's
remainders
right.
of it, it's floated past our Earth.
I'm inclined to think that, like Pluto, water was just part of our planet already. And that, yes, so happens that some things
Yeah, look,
hit or pass have also contained
Earth
water.
could have been a meteorite like this one.
Yeah.
And then it's come collision with something else, it's slowed down and it's put into a spin, then it starts revolving around a sun somewhere and attracts more minerals to it all the time and gets bigger and bigger and turns into an Earth like ours. I see what you're saying. I would believe that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That everything does point towards that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So just theories, guys. We're not scientists, and people call me an entomologist, so it's far from a science. Well, it's close, but I think you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Get the picture. Speculation.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Alright, so that about covers your subjects, does it?
Yeah, we're given plenty to think about.
Alrighty then. Well, I think we might leave it there then.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you what's coming next week because I don't really know yet.
No, I think we're going to have new topics.
Well, obviously. Jesus, Captain Obvious bloke over here.
Yeah, that, right. Now, I keep saying to Rocky, I've got to make sure I don't double up on topics, check my notes, but when I get a topic, I think about something, I've got to check back, have I done that? Have I talked about that?
And then he forgets.
Then I forget.
What?
So,
Wait, no, what's the rest of it? You forget there's another way to check.
Well, what?
Just go to our YouTube page.
Oh, that's right. Now, he informed me that otherwise you could just go to the YouTube channel and check on there, and don't forget to click the buttons while you're there, right?
Oh, that too. I meant telling him.
That was a
I
good one.
meant if he needs to remember what episodes we've done, he can just go to our YouTube page and look at the title of the episode.
Yeah. And
But
scroll
also-
down and all the titles will tell you what you've done and what you haven't done.
But also,
Oh, right.
don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah.
I almost forgot that one. That was a good way of reminding me.
Yeah, yeah. I thought I'd just whack that in. Now, if I say that, he'll remember all the names.
Yeah, well, as usual, the little icon thing would have been down there when I said that. So, you know.
Yeah.
All right, that's the end of this episode. Yep, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's it, mate.
Yeah,
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll catch you next week. And until then, that's all from us for now. I'm Rocky,
And I'm Froggy.
and we'll catch you later.
See you then.